My name is Cynthia Halls from Marquette, Kansas, and I teach in the middle school, which means 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students, in language arts, spelling, reading, and English. We have small classes. We have about from 12 kids to 19 students, so our situation is a little bit unique compared to a lot of other places. The overview of this activity was actually started back at the beginning of the year. The social studies teacher and I do a lot of integration between us, and we wanted to continue that as well as add in the science department this time. We also wanted to make sure that the kids knew what it meant to be an American, and we've been kind of just looking at different programs throughout the year and always taking pictures of different activities that the students do in all the different classes. This particular project came in about in December, I guess, or maybe in November, when we started talking about the realistic things. And the social studies teacher knew his son is in a technology class at the high school, and they had this particular program, Avid Cinema. We then wanted to make it a goal, too, that our kids would get to know the high school kids, because they travel about 8 miles over to the high school. So we thought it would be a good social goal as well as a technology goal for the students to meet and learn new things and then be able to apply them. Once we got that accomplished, then we decided to make it encompass a time capsule because of the millennium, and our school is going to bury a time capsule. So we decided to do the national and local and how the school makes the connection between those two. Speaking from the language arts perspective, my goals would be for the students to be able to evaluate material accurately, look in to see if it's an authentic source or not, to be able to make sure that the pictures that they choose communicate something to the audience. So they will look at several different pictures and see which one seems to grab their attention. If it's boring, then they eliminate it and look for a new particular picture. We talked about the audience that will be coming to see their presentation. Just like in writing, they have to think of their audience before they begin. The same thing for this media presentation. I also wanted them to learn how to use different kinds of technology so that they could use those in their presentation. And we practiced that after the high school kids taught us in language arts. Then they were, to go along with history, they were doing colonial period. And the college students from a college nearby came over and helped them learn some colonial skills. Then we took pictures of that on the digital camera, and then the students were given a course outline, and they used those digital pictures to present a media presentation to the other students about the particular, for instance, jewelry making or carding. You'll see some of those slides in the presentation. I have a check sheet, and each day I assign them to a particular station. For instance, in the national group, there'll be one student that'll be previewing video clips. That student would earn points if they are staying in their assigned area, looking for video clips, marking them whether they're used or not used, and then giving them to the person to record on the computer. The person at the computer would get points every day if they are importing pictures, getting them lined up, putting in the transitions, that kind of thing. And so each student has a particular job for the day, and as I walk around, if they're on track, they get all the points. If they're not, each time I ask them to go back, I just take a point away. For the actual product, I also have a sheet, and I'm looking for individual accountability as well as group accountability. And then I'm making sure that they know the skills. Can they scan in pictures? I have to see them do that, and if they can show me that, I check that off. If they can import things that have been scanned in, then I check that off. If they can use the digital camera. Each phase of the project, I check and make sure that individually they can accomplish that. I think I chose this particular strategy to be able to reach the kids in the very best way. I try to do a lot of hands-on activities. So when we study, for instance, colonial days, then the students will experience it hands-on what it would have been like to card wool during that time, what it would have been like to cook during that time, what it would have been like to do those things. And then when we talk about it later, I think they remember those things a lot more clearly. So I chose this particular thing to make history come alive to them, because they would see themselves creating this product. They would know from the history classes what things were important. We could select the things from language arts to make it all fit together and have a finished end product. And then also to let the community know what the school is doing, that they are making all these connections, that there's a lot of exciting things going on in the school. And I felt like this visual presentation was an excellent way to get the message across, have the kids remember it for a long time, and tell the community what exciting things are going on in the school. I think that by working in small groups, that the students learned to work with each other, and so they have to decide on only maybe one picture that gets into the program for that particular topic. So they had to talk about it and discuss it and explain why they believed the way they did. Could we compromise on this? Could you pick this one and I pick that one? So I saw some real partnership going along there. At the same time, I think it's also very important that they have individual accountability, so that if they are supposed to research a particular time period, that they find information about that to present to their group. So I think that they learned individual accountability as well as some group discussion, kind of a democracy type thing, and sometimes even voting whether they wanted to do this particular thing or not. So I think that was a real advantage, to have individual accountability as well as group decisions.